What's up YouTube, it's your boy Danny James, and in today's video we are going to be learning how to create a tearing paper frame transition, and we are going to be using Adobe Premiere and a little bit of Photoshop to make this transition. If you do end up enjoying this kind of content, make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so that you never miss any of my upcoming videos. And if you do end up enjoying this content, kindly give it a like so that the algorithm suggests this video to other people like you. So let's jump into Premiere. We have two clips right here. We have anime on it, a bit of Ruby, and we also have some instrumental right here to act as a guideline. As you edit a video, you also want to reference to some music so that it makes total sense. Let me just play it back. Okay, for now I'll mute the audio so that we go uninterrupted. Now where your clip ends, you want to duplicate that clip like that. I'm holding Alt, drag that up, and then on these clips that we just dragged up, you want to right click and add a frame hold. So the frame hold applies on this small bit here, so you need to extend it so that you can see what happens. On this other end, this will be a continuation of the other clip, so we don't need it. I'll also assign it a different label color. So the video will play and then it will go onto a frame hold. Now the second step, you want to export this frame hold. So there's a little camera right here which you can export the frame. If you cannot find it, just go to your button editor and that little camera icon should be there. So let's export that frame. Let's name tear transition. It will go to our desktop. Now the second step, we're going to open Photoshop and do a bit of magic on this clip. So I'll right click on this frame that you just exported and open with Photoshop. Once you've brought in your image on Photoshop, it has to be a 1920 by 1080, or it really has to be on the same dimensions as what you got on your timeline. So what you want to do, you want to get a white separation line here, but you also need something that is a bit grungy and a bit rigid. So we won't use a brush, we'll instead go for a magnetic lasso tool. If you know how a magnetic lasso tool works, it works by automatically detecting edges of a frame, and while at the same time you can also pinpoint edges which you want to add. So right here, let's say I'll start about right here. I'll click here and then I'll try dropping down. So it will try to attach to some edges, but I'll also try to click on some places so that it remains on that straight line. So it's okay if it sticks to something, and then we'll go to the edge, create another, we'll click right there to create another edge, and then we'll try going up just alongside this other paper. So if it tries going back, just end it and then restart it all again. So you want something which is quite it has some distance to the others. So just use this magnetic lasso tool, go to the end, add a point manually, then add another point right here, then let's go towards the top. This time I'll make sure that it doesn't go to the other side, so I'll keep adding some points by myself just to make sure it stays on course. And then I'll link it back. Now once that's done and that selection is like that, we hold shift and backspace, and we fill that with a color. We want to add a white color on it. So hit OK, hit Ctrl D, and now you can see what we've been able to do. Now this is not ideally what I would want to work with, so I'll redo it again just to show you that there is a chance of error to pull off this look. So I'll hit Ctrl Z, hit Ctrl D to remove that, and now I'll try adding edges by myself so that it doesn't really like shear away from my points. I'll also let it create its own points so that it has that rigid look, and then at the bottom I'll create another one, and then let's now go up. I'll try to not go near the other edge because it will automatically detect an edge and go closer to it. So this seems fine, and then we'll go up to the top and then connect it. Hit shift and backspace, fill it with a color white, and now you can see what we have. I've done this thrice just to get it right, so if you happen to make an error, remember you can come back to it and redo it again, and it's totally okay. I'll go back to my selection tool. Now we want to duplicate this layer, so I'll hit Ctrl J. Now let's name this layer main background, and then we're going to tear it into two halves. We're going to separate the two halves. So what I'll do, I'll duplicate the main background, Ctrl J once again, and I'll duplicate it twice. So we have two duplicates. Now I'll hide my main background. This bottom layer right here, we can even lock it. We don't really need it. It's just there in case we do something wrong. So we have the two layers which are going to split. And how we're going to split them, we're just going to use a lasso tool. Because you want something as humanly possible, you don't want to get a perfect cut from this. So I'll take a lasso tool. With our lasso tool, you just need to manually go through the middle part. So we're going to select it manually. So I'll click right here, and then we are dragging. I'm trying to stay in the middle of this white outline. I just messed there, so I'll start again. Just hit Ctrl D so that you can remove those matching ants. Then start it perfectly. Yeah, I'm just trying to remain at the center, dropping down through this white area. I've run out of mouse pad space, and then I'll go around and connect it right here. So I'll hit delete, and it has deleted. I'll hit Ctrl D to remove those matching ants. I know it has deleted it because I can see the transparency here. If I hide the layer which is right above us, you can see we've been able to split it. Now for this layer that is right above us, all you need to do is to select that layer, hold Ctrl, then click on the icon of this other layer that we just cut out, and then hit delete. Ctrl D to remove those matching ants. So you can see we have the left side, right side. So let's rename them. This is right side, and then this other one, left side. So that's the little bit of Photoshop that you needed to do. So we have our 3 slides ready. We have the right side. Let me just hide them. We have the right side. We also have the left side, and we also have the main background. So we need to export all of these individually first. Export the main background as a JPEG or a PNG. Since this is the background layer, it doesn't need any transparency. And then hide that layer, export the left side, and then export the right side. Okay, once that is done, you can close Photoshop. Here are the 3 items. We'll import them into our project bin. So we took our screenshot from here. So we don't really need this. We were using it to get a screenshot. So right where these 2 clips transition, we bring our main background. Okay, so it comes after that layer, after this frame. That's when the other one which has a line appears. Okay, I'll also give it a different label color, and then I'll give it 5 frames, shift, and then right arrow key once, 5 frames. And then we're going to bring our right side and also the left side. Let's give them the same yellow color. So for these 2, we're going to add some keyframes for them. So let's start with this left side. Go to your effect controls. We're going to add keyframes for position and rotation. But before we do that, let's just adjust the anchor point. Since we're tearing the paper, it can't rotate from the middle part, but from the bottom part. So this anchor point, which is right in the middle, once your cursor changes to a certain shape, drag it at the bottom where that line stays. I'll do the same for this right side clip. I'll click on the anchor point, drag it to the bottom. Let's start with the left side. Add a keyframe for position and rotation. Drag them to the beginning. Go 2 frames. Let's give them a space of 2 frames. 1, 2. I'm using my right arrow keys. Not 2 frames, but 4 frames. Sorry. So we're going to go 4 frames. And then, since this is the left side, we are going to squeeze it to the left just a bit. And then we are also going to rotate it like that. and then you'll go another 4 frames, 1 2 3 4, squeeze it to the left hand side, but you also want to drop it down using this other parameter, so we don't really need to rotate it again. Then let me add some more time. We need about 4 keyframes, so it will go like this while it's dropping down. So let's go another 1 2 3 4 4 frames. It needs to drop down while going to the side, and as it rotates towards the end, and then maybe 1 2 3 4 4 frames, you can rotate it and it disappears from the frame. So I'll do the same for this other right hand side. We're going to add a keyframe for position and rotation. Go 1 2 3 4. Since you can now see what's happening on the left side, we can do the same on the right hand side. So we're going to rotate it just quite a bit and then drop it down. Then you just need to make it look realistic. They don't have to be matching. Go another 4 frames and rotate it. 1 2 3 4 4 frames. Let's rotate it more while it goes down. 1 2 3 4, and then on the last keyframe just rotate it away from the frame. This is what our transition should look like. I'll also unmute the background music so that you can see. So that's quite good. Now it's time to polish this effect. First thing you want to do, you want to highlight on your keyframes. To create that grungy look, you need to change the keyframes to hold. The interpolation should be on hold. Let me do the same for the right hand side. Highlight on the keyframes, under temporal interpolation, put them on hold. See, they are sort of going as they are. Now for the last thing, we're going to highlight on all these items that constitute this transition and nest. So let's name this chair transition. And then on this one, you're going to add 2 effects. Add the noise effect, and you're also going to add the wave warp effect. This is just to clean this up. So under wave warp, this is quite easy. Put it on square. Wave height stays on 10. Wave width stays on 1000. Direction stays on like -0.4. Wave speed, I think, no, the direction it should be at 0. Wave speed -0.1 or 4, -0.4, and then pinning all edges. You can see the lines which appear because of the wave warp. So let's add the parameters for the noise. Just increase it about 14%. Looks okay. Disable color noise for this look. And then the last thing, just to make it realistic, go on YouTube and download a paper tearing sound effect. There's a bunch for free on YouTube. I just downloaded one. I won't show you how to download it because you guys know it. So I have this paper tearing sound effect. It's about 8 seconds. I'll bring it into my project bin. I choose a sound that I like. I just drag it here on my timeline. I'll take the last one and then I'll place it right beneath. So where the paper tearing starts, that's when this sound should also begin. Now let's preview it from the top and see what this looks like. Yeah, that's it. That's quite a simple transition that you guys can work on and maybe put it on your projects. It can show a level of detail that maybe other directors don't really have, and that way you can stand out in your music video projects. If you did enjoy this video, kindly give it a thumbs up so that it's suggested to other people with the same interest as you. If you also have a question, a suggestion, or anything to add onto this video, the comments section is right there. Just leave something. I'm happy to reply and interact with you guys. My name is Danny James. See you in the next video. Peace.